So the polls aren't looking great. If, like me, you are hoping that Bernie Sanders just knocks it out of the park and despite everything somehow pulls a win out from here, you're probably feeling like you're clutching at straws hope-wise. This isn't the video I wanted to put out next because there's part 6 of 21st Century Marxism, which is going to be the last part of that series for the time being. And I feel like the place that lands is also going to dovetail nicely into this video anyway, though. So keep an eye out for that one. But here's the thing, right? I've said this about Corbyn, and I'm going to say it again about Sanders. If he doesn't make it, if he's not the official representative of the United States, then the fight goes on. That's it. There's a lot of people whose politics would end at the polls anyway, and Sanders has already got a movement together. Like, he's got people thinking more radically than what they otherwise would have, and we didn't get it in 2016. We may not get it this time around either, and that's not great, but you know, it could be worse. It's like Biden's a creep and a neoliberal, okay? This is not great. You know, we're not about to dismantle these systems, but there's now more space to publicly talk about these kinds of ideas, and things that used to seem radical suddenly don't anymore. You know, Americans are talking quite openly and comfortably about universal healthcare now. That's not the same as actually getting universal healthcare, and it's not even getting Bernie Sanders into the White House, but there's more of us now. You know, and it's not what we wanted. It's not looking like it's going to be what we wanted anyway. But that's the thing, you've got to use this energy, you've got to use the despair and the frustration that you're feeling right now to get out there and do stuff. If Biden is the next president of the United States of America, then things are not going to improve for a lot of people. And the main thing is that people know what the problem actually is, the name of the problem, because the name of the problem is capitalism or neoliberalism, however you want to phrase it to people. Know what audience you're talking to. But yeah, the phrase that I want to make sure that you know is the fight goes on. This is not the end. This was never going to be the end. You know, Bernie Sanders was not going to be the person to save us. Jeremy Corbyn was not going to be the person to save us. The only people who can save us is us, collectively, not individually. It's not up to you as an individual to save the world, and this is something I need to hear as much as anyone else, to be frank. Not me, us. That is now an idea that's in the vernacular. You know, the same way that Occupy Wall Street may not have accomplished much, but the idea of the 99% versus the 1%, that's a useful framework to have now. And now something that has been brought into the public consciousness in the United States and across the Anglosphere entirely is not me, us. We're going to be okay. Okay is going to look different to how we wanted it to look. But if all of your political hopes were pinned on Bernie Sanders getting elected, then your politics are probably a bit shaky anyway. But yeah, just remember, it's that no politician, not even Bernie Sanders, is going to swoop in and make everything better. You know, I've said it about Jeremy Corbyn, and I'll say it about Sanders as well, is just because you get someone elected doesn't mean that they can bring about all the change that they want to anyway. Because the problem with democracy, and this is a good thing when someone you don't like is in charge, but it's a bad thing when someone you do like is that no one can just have unilateral control over policy, which means that there would have been resistance. I may have gotten a little bit too into this video. Obviously, we're not licked yet. There's still plenty of delegates to be decided, and there's still Democratic primary to keep coming. So there's still work to be done to get Sanders in. I probably didn't emphasize that enough when I was recording the main video, so bear that in mind. If Bernie were to get elected, he would still be fighting the Democratic Party in office. So it's not like all the stuff that's been talked about would suddenly happen anyway. There would be better policy. There would absolutely be better policy that would get through than what would under Biden, but it's not looking like that's going to happen at this point. So please remember, this was never going to be the end. The fight goes on. And that's something that we have to grapple with more than what we wanted to, but that's going to have to be okay. Because if this is the end for you politically, then you haven't heard Bernie's message. Us. Together we can do this. We don't need Bernie in front of us, you know? I mean, I'm Australian, you know, what do I care? Like, I mean, sure, it sets a precedent for other countries and everything, but that doesn't mean that, again, like, it doesn't mean that this unilateral change would come about. Like, this is the thing, like, the story we keep telling ourselves is once you achieve the main goal that you're setting out to, because this happens in movies, then everything just magically gets better all of a sudden, you know, like, you know, you kill the big boss and then all the bad shit he ever did suddenly gets wiped out. That's not how it works. You get Bernie elected and it's a line in the sand. It says we're here and we want this. But you know what? You don't need to get someone elected to be able to say that. We need to say it anyway. This is not the end. The fight goes on. So please have heart, take courage. We've got this. Because we have to have this. I know it sucks, but the president is just a symbol. We're the ones doing the actual work anyway. It would just be nice to have a leader who is there to support that. So, we've got work to do. And until next time, much love.